Jacob, this podcast has gone to the moon. We are the
And back.
elite. Oh, yeah. We're the elite of the elite, and that's why we wear Elite Sports, the only sporting brand company that supports Texas State athletes the way that they deserve to be respected. If you want to support the Bobcats and this podcast, shop at Elite Sports. The best athletes at Texas State are sponsored by Elite Sports. The best podcast is also.
Use code SQUARE at checkout for 10% off. One of the best college apparel companies in the country. Home field. If you got A&M fans, if you got Longhorn fans, if you got begrudgingly probably in your life that you want to give a nice gift for, shop Home Field. Use code SQUARE at checkout. 10% off.
Jacob, when I wear home field apparel, I feel like I have a home field advantage.
Do you? Do you actually have one?
100%. I have a
SQUARE.
golden gopher shirt. Looks great on me. Girls are all over me being like, hey, do chicks really dig the long ball? I go, yeah, they do. 1957 World Series champs, Golden Gophers.
If we were in school right now, like, what are the odds of just a random person on the street meeting a person like you and I? Like, do you think you and I represent like what it means to be a Texas State student, or I guess alumni at this point, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it did. Look, I would say as an alumni, we do like 99% more than other alumni do. You know, we do a weekly podcast. No big deal. Just saying.
MBD.
But yeah, no, I would say if we were students, I don't know. I think we would check the box. I would hate to be a student right now because traffic was awful on 35, whole San Marcos, and then
You're in Austin today? You're in Austin?
Yeah. I did the morning show up there.
That's
so yeah. So then I'm driving down. 35 is pretty much gridlock between Kyle and like 1604. It felt like, and yeah, and I saw a train was going through town, so it was like the off ramp was backed up too. Yeah. So it's like I don't know what San Marcos can do, but they need to figure something out when it comes to how many people will just live in that city during the school year.
You know about this.
It's a ton.
You know about this, but I went floating with our boys over the weekend because it was kind of like this weekend is really like my last weekend before football like totally ruins everything for me. And it already
ruins everything. This is the best time of the year.
No, I know, but like I've kind of gotten into like a flow. I do certain things on certain days. So now I'm flipping to my football schedule, basically, which is different than my like off-season schedule. So I do things a little differently. Have to approach things differently after last season. But so I went floating with the boys, and it never fails. Like anytime I actually have to be somewhere at a certain time, I'll get hit with the train in San Marcos. And I'm just waiting behind this train. Got to be on the river, sober on the river in your face. You didn't think I could make it? I made it.
No, I know. After making fun of me a month ago for saying to our waitress that I was sober, and Mr. Sober Zimmel, he goes one float sober and acts like he's like God's greatest service.
Dude,
sorry, Gandhi.
Tough.
You know
I don't know many people who have done a sober float though.
Yeah, I will say you look well rested and tanned.
Thank you. Yeah, these are eye drops right now actually because I'm so like my eyes are so it's so hot. I don't know how people play football in this weather. It's insane. So,
well, that's interesting because we just talked to.
Hey, yo. Oh, I thought you were going to go with it.
No, I was teeing it up for you. We just talked to the athletic director of Texas State.
Did we now?
Don. Yeah, the Don of Texas State. And we talked a little bit about a practice facility, maybe an indoor practice facility because it's too damn hot.
I really appreciate our relationship with him because it was forged in college when he was doing something else for the athletics department. He was promotions guy? In charge of marketing and promotions, I'm pretty sure. And then, he got the bump to AD and then it was like, hey, we know that guy. And we started this show. So it was very convenient at the time.
I want you to repeat that he was a promotions and marketing guy. And then you need to know that Zimmel did not pull any punches during this podcast.
He did not. You can see his face actually in real time.
You can
opens his mouth.
Watch the video.
It's so funny because we were killing time before you got on, and me and him were talking about a lot of things, like some guests I want to get on. He's going to help us out with, and trading cards and just random stuff like that. But I was like, I asked him if he had to be out at a certain time because he has a 4 o'clock actually, and so I was just making sure he was going to get out on time when we actually started the interview. And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, you guys get me out pretty early though, so it shouldn't be a problem." And I was like, "Yeah, it's not me that you got to worry about, Don. It's this other guy on the podcast."
Damn,
He was
dude.
like, "Ah, yeah, Zimmel."
My reputation precedes me.
Yeah, what can you say? So
Hey,
this is
we got him out quick. We got him out for like 40 minutes.
crazy. Yeah, no, I talked to him for like 6 minutes, and then you jumped on, then we talked to him for another like 30 or something. So
Yeah.
no. So it's hard to get time with literally the most important person on campus these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got a lot of stuff going on. We talk about a lot of things. So here's our conversation with Don.
Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin' Around with Jacob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jacob Rodriguez. This is Squaring Around. This is the show we talk about everything going on at Texas State. We try to do this every single season. I'm joined by Don Coryell, our athletics director at Texas State. We're here to do kind of like a state of the athletics department. And Don, before I kick it over to you, I really like. I'm the last time we had you on this show, we were kind of talking about how you, GJ, all the other coaches were focused on like enlarging like our footprint basically like
Yeah.
across athletics as a whole, uh kind of like opening back up hearts, minds, and wallets of the Bobcat faithful. And now it feels like this year completely flipped on its head. Like we like have crazy ticket season or season ticket sales. There's been a lot of like work done in the off season for some of the buildings on campus. It's kind of a different story, right, this year.
Yeah, it's it has been different. It's been awesome, right? So the buzz that's out there right now around our athletics department, around our teams, around our football program, it's great to see that we don't necessarily kind of have to manufacture our stories right now. There's so many things we don't have to buy media to get attention right now. I mean, there's so much focus right now on what we're doing. So many people are talking about us. This social media has gone crazy. With our football program, what we've been able to accomplish. Yeah, man, it's just been super nice to kind of be able to reap some of the benefits of having a really good athletic year this past year, and to be able to take advantage of that momentum. You mentioned it, ticket sales, Bobcat Club memberships, different things like that. It's been awesome, man. It's been outstanding. We've been fortunate, and we expect to do bigger things this next year.
Yeah. I know you guys had a big outing out at Kissing Tree for the golf tournament.
Yeah.
What's it been like just reconnecting with some alumni who maybe had like lost like I guess like the relationship between the athletic department or like are just renewed completely like, oh, let's do it. Let's go all in again.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, right? Because you work super hard to try to build those relationships and keep those relationships. And the nature of our business is we're not always going to win, right? And that sometimes turns people off. And you got to kind of prove to them that you're trying to do things the right way, and that you're trying to do what's best for their alma mater, for the team that they're rooting for. And I think we've done a good job of that. We're still trying to prove ourselves, with what we're doing here, but. It's just exciting, right? To see people who haven't done something with you for maybe a decade, come back and say, "Hey, I like what you're doing with the program," or "We're excited about what your volleyball team did last year, your softball team, or your football team," and hey, we want to get back involved. There's hundreds of stories like that right now, so it's really fun to see.
I apologize that I had to sprint over here. 35 traffic caught me.
Hey, I get it.
It's okay.
I get it. Did you get Fred Evans to sign that Minnesota Viking football you got back there?
No. I need to get somebody to sign it for me.
Big Fred's done a really good job over the past couple of years coming back, man. You got to bring that to a game, and when Fred's here, we'll see if we can get Fred's autograph on that.
Oh, there we go. Look at this.
He's been awesome. I love that guy.
I was just talking to Don about like the difference it's been from last year to this year. We talked about him, or last year we talked with him about like opening the hearts and minds and wallets of Bobcats across the country, basically to enlarge in our footprint. It's just been kind of different though, right? It's like a different story this year. Every day, basically, we see a new version of GJ tweeting like rat poison, some new poll that we're up against.
No,
It's the
you're right.
Bobcats against the world right now, really.
Yeah, yeah. Andrew, I don't know if that was to you or was that to me. Go ahead, Andrew. But yeah, I could comment too.
I was gonna say, well, we'll throw it to you as the AD. I think you might have a better pulse of it than
Well,
I
we
do,
were
just as a guy. But look, it's funny, Don, that we are at the point now where I think 5 years ago, if Texas State was talked about on like a Sirius XM channel, I'd have to stop the car, pull over, and then get my phone out and start recording. But now Texas State's talked about not only in football, but in basketball, but in volleyball, but in soccer as one of the premier universities in the conference. Now we knew that, but what's it been like to have those outside eyeballs outside of San Marcos, kind of finally giving Texas State the recognition it deserves?
Yeah, and we kind of just talked about it a little
Yeah.
bit, but it's been wonderful, right? I don't know what else to say. Again, our coaches and our student athletes have done such a great job. You all know the potential of this university. We've always talked about the potential. I think we're starting to live up to some of that potential. I think we got a really good shot of having another great athletic year. I know how excited people are about our football program. We look at the projections as much as anybody else does. I'm just a guy in that sense, right? That's fun for me to see. When you see Brett McMurphy, tweet something out, or the guys on ESPN talking about it, we get just as excited as everybody else does. Does it mean anything? Who knows, right? We'll all find out. But it's fun. It's great for the off season. It generates buzz. And that's one thing that I think we've really been able to do here with what we've done is generate interest in our program. And as you all know, it starts with the top with Kelly Danfus. He's a one-man wrecking crew when it comes to putting eyes on Texas State and talking about all the great things that our university is doing and all the great stuff that our athletics department is doing. We got outstanding head coaches. You got GJ Kenny, who's done a great job for us. And there's absolutely kind of a groundswell of support and enthusiasm that I'm not sure I've ever seen it before. I've been here a long time. We've had some really good seasons and done some great things in our department, but I'm not sure I've quite felt what we're feeling right now.
What has been the biggest surprise or the thing that surprised you the most between December 27th of last year and now? After that bowl win for Texas State and to today, what has been something that surprised you the most?
Uh, the one thing, and I'll talk a little bit about football for me, which we got a little countdown going on in our office right now, and as of a few hours ago, I think we needed 80. I think we needed to sell 81 more. But if we sell 81 more season tickets, new season tickets, we'll have 2,000 new season tickets sold for the Bobcats.
Wow.
For where we've been and what I've seen, that is a massive number for us. So I mean, it just speaks to the interest, right? That's people coming to us. I mean, we're out there reaching out to people and we're doing what we can to get people involved. But a lot of that is, hey man, we are just excited about the Bobcats. We're going online, we're buying tickets, we're calling the ticket office, whatever we have to do. That's probably been the thing that I've been most excited about, at least within the past month. And we work in athletics, man. You asked me something about December. I've already forgotten, I mean, we just work in a pretty fast paced environment where last night I could have told you I was most excited about the reaction. We had this jumpstart deal on campus last night, 8,000 freshmen, the biggest freshman class, ever at the university. And Kelly's on stage and Beth Damp's on stage. And then GJ goes up there with Lincoln Perry and Josh Eden, man, and they crush it in front of the students. And I'm sitting in back watching, going, man, this is awesome. Like people were so excited to hear from our football players, hear from our football coach. We had a volleyball student athlete, Janae Jethro, go on there, and Zanae Jethro go on there and promote our volleyball team. And you could just generally tell, like the students were really excited to hear from our student athletes. And when GJ left the crowd, I think it felt like we had needed a police escort. You know what I mean? Like all the students want to, give him high five and slap the football players on the back. And it's just a different environment. But I'm really proud of everything our department was able to accomplish. As you guys know, we won the Boobies Cup, which is important to us. And so that's a lot more than obviously just football. and it's so many sports doing so many good things. But I could go on and on, man. I could probably tell you 100 things I'm proud of.
I'll tell you, Don, you're talking about the electricity on campus. I have a tear in my eye right now because I remember when it was like DOA, like you barely had a pulse as an athletic department.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now the fact that there's like enough electricity that there's 8,000 students, and you talk about the potential police escort for GJ at one point. I had classes with football players and people didn't even care.
Yeah.
I sat behind the starting quarterback and nobody batted an eye. So the fact of the matter is, this is a whole new day. It feels like a complete 180 from what I saw 4 years ago. And I will say this to add a little bit of another thing in there. I saw class of 2028 and it made me kind of like cringe because I said, okay, so in 2 years, the next group of class, it'll be 10 years since I graduated. That's, ooh, I cannot believe it's already been that long, you know?
And my man Lincoln Perry turned to me last night and he goes, man, 2028, kind of like, oh, he feels old. You know, he's been in it for a long time. I go, well, trust me, I know how you feel, my man. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's been a cultural shift to an extent. The excitement is what we haven't seen before. We're going to see it tonight. We got this event called Fandemonium tonight where we actually have all the freshmen now over at the football stadium. And kind of changed the focus of that a little bit. You know, it was at one point we introduced all of our head coaches and maybe a few of them talk on the microphone and, maybe they hear from a couple student athletes. We've really kind of changed that. And we want their first experience at that stadium to just really be like a wow factor, right? So now it's like light show, fireworks show, a lot of video elements, stuff like that. It's short, it's compact, it's quick, it's fun. But it's their first introduction to Bobcat football. And so I'm excited to see that tonight. That's at 8:30 or so. And, we're expecting to have, who knows, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 students there for that.
NBD, no big deal right there, right? Damn, 7,000 students.
I remember doing that as a freshman. It's pretty fun.
Well, and it's a lot different now.
Yeah.
But if you guys aren't far, you want to come up, hey, you guys want to come up and check it out, come on now. We'll put it out on social media. We'll put videos out. But you guys are more than welcome to come and pop into the stadium tonight and see it firsthand if you want.
Dang. Oh, we had like free reign for whatever reason over the stadium. So I ended up in one of the suites and I was probably not good in hindsight, but
no, we would do that. We'd open up the suite and club, just kind of show it off. And I was there when we'd open up the locker room. So you're right. People could kind of go wherever they wanted.
It was a different world back then. And so now it's UFCU stadium. I got to get used to saying that now. Can you talk about that deal? Like what was some of the behind the scenes, or what was it just like working with that team that got that done?
They've been outstanding, right? It's such a great partnership for us. It did take some time to do, right? A lot of diligence. But it was such an important thing for us to partner, with an organization that, does great things in the communities, an important part of Central Texas. Had a long-standing relationship with the university, right? We had a long-standing relationship with a lot of people that we were working with. I think it was the perfect match. We're excited about opening UFCU Stadium here on the 31st. We're putting up signage right now all around the facility. We're going to do some unveilings. We're going to have a ribbon cutting. When gates open, we're going to do some on-field recognition. It's just exciting for us. Great partnership. They're great people, great institution. And, we got some surprises too that we're going to do with them on the 31st. So we're going to have some fun with them as well and fun with our fans on some of the things that we're doing. But yeah, it's just been a great partnership and something that we wanted to do. We're excited that we're able to accomplish it.
And you got to hit the river jump too, so they're all on board.
Man, we did the river jump. I saw the press conference.
I saw the whole thing.
They're totally on board, and that's the kind of those are the kind of moments that you remember, right? That's the special stuff that's more than just a transaction, right? It's the relationship stuff, and again, this goes back to just this awesome place. Where else can you do that? Where you can have that kind of moment. It's a graduation moment for people who are affiliated with the school, right? And it's unique. It is important. It's memorable, and it's binding.
It's turning into the celebration, like river jump. That's what it really is turning into.
No, it's and that's what the graduations are, and that's what we've kind of turned it into. Our softball team made the plunge this year. Our track and field team made the plunge this year after they won the women's outdoor. That's what it is for us, right? We win, we swim.
I like the make the plunge shirts.
Make the plunge. I'm all right with that.
Hey,
it all falls into that River State thing. We're working on. So I'm good with that.
How's that been going?
been good. I got to go get some new hats for the football season. I'm running low. It's been well received. It's been good.
I like it. It's nice. I just like that entire branding. Like it just feels like a lot of like things that were like, oh yeah, that makes sense for this school. Like it fits like very culturally with like what Texas State is. And so you guys have been able to like do what you want to do and fit within the identity of the school itself, you know?
Well, I just think and Kelly knows this too. And Kelly and I laugh about this. He said the other day we're at the football stadium. He's like, I'd love a lazy river somehow running through the football stadium. And I turned to him, I go, are you kidding me? I go, I've been saying that for a decade in our department. I go, if you went and told our staff that you said that, they wouldn't believe it because that's all I've been talking about. But I do just in general, I think we should incorporate the river more into what we do. You sometimes come into the UEC to a basketball game or a volleyball game and you're a visitor. You may not even know it's there. So, we just want to, depending on where you come in, right? The front door, you don't go to the back. I'd love to find a way to kind of incorporate Sewell Park a little bit more into the building here at some point. But we definitely want to emphasize the river. We show it off to every recruit that's here. We show it off to every parent that we're visiting with. We're really proud of it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to promote it a little bit more.
No, it feels like we finally have like a marketing department too. It feels like there's finally like you said, everything fits culturally that, hey, this is just a light bulb idea. Hey, why haven't we been doing this in the past? That's how obvious it feels.
Yeah, well, again, kind of goes back to Kelly, right? I mean, he drives the ship, and he's so visible and so involved. It's really easy for him to kind of share his vision and what he's doing, and he's got a great team behind him as well. The president's cabinet is awesome; they do a really good job. And so, yeah, but what you just said, it starts with KD.
Every alum, booster, and I think current student probably got your athletics director like email that you sent out. I think it was today. It might have been yesterday.
I think you said yesterday, yeah.
But like, are some of like the main ideas that you want people to take into like not only the football season, but this like athletic, I guess you can call it like a fiscal year because it's like a non-traditional start to the year, but football really kind of kicks things off for everything else.
Yeah, well, we're going to do, we're actually going to put something out tomorrow too, kind of like a go before you know type deal. So it's really going to outline a little bit more detail, some of the stuff that we're doing, within the program, particularly with football. So, some of the changes we may be making, operational changes, things that are staying the same, what you need to be ready for on game day, things like that. So you'll see that tomorrow, just kind of in general. I would just say my message is, we're not satisfied, right? We did have a good year. But there's just so much more that we could be doing here. So we're going to keep working on that. And the most important thing is for people who are listening, we need your support, right? We need you to come to games. We need you to get tickets. We need you to, you hear it all the time, join the Bobcat Club, get involved with the NIL stuff that we're doing. Be visible, talk about us, retweet, whatever you got to do. Just kind of be involved. Let's keep building this thing together. Let's keep getting more people involved with what we're trying to do, which is, we say until the whole world knows our name, right? Let's get that freaking message out. Let's make it true. Let's blow up nationally.
And the most important thing, bring a clear bag if you want to bring it.
Bring a clear bag. Yes. Have you seen that already? Is that already out?
Well, that's the obvious. I mean, I think that's what it's been forever, right? Bring a clear bag.
The clear bag policy. We're implementing the clear bag policy. Yes. So I think we're putting that out. I know we're putting it out tomorrow. I don't know if it's been out before, but yeah, we'll do clear bag. We'll do some other things. We're doing some like self-checkout kiosks for concessions, which hopefully will work well. So we're gonna dabble in that, which you see at a lot of different places. We're definitely implementing some new things that I think are going to be exciting for our fans.
I just remember getting that bowl game invite and well, not me, but everybody else like reacting to it online because I was in the press box with everybody else on the media side. But how excited everybody was for that experience and like how like now that's like a thing like that's becoming like a destination probably event for a lot of people. So are you guys doing something similar? Maybe?
Yeah, I mean it should be, right? So we're going to celebrate the bowl win at the first game against Lamar. We're going to recognize our other champions. We want that to be an annual thing, right? And sometimes you read things nationally, there's a lack of interest maybe in some of the bowls. I think we set the precedent, right? I mean, our fans loved the bowl experience. If you talk to a lot of our fans, it's maybe the highlight of any athletic event they've ever been to. I know it may have been for me, right? I think the way we traveled, I think that's how we'll travel moving forward, if not better, right? It was such a good experience for our fans. Everybody had such a good time. I think with our game in Houston, I expect it to be a similar type atmosphere at NRG. Yeah, man, I think we set a precedent it there, and that's the goal, right?
I think we proved that Texas State fans just will travel, right? Like I think there
Yeah.
was like some talk before, like, oh, whether or not, because it was so close to Christmas too. Like that was like a little obstacle that was thrown our way. But huge attendance numbers.
Oh man, when we originally got it, yeah, the day after Christmas, you think, gosh, is this going to affect some people's travel plans? Is this going to be difficult for some of our fans to go to? And I told this almost every time when we did this GJ Kenny tour this summer. When I walked into that stadium, I got in a little bit late, which I usually, because we had this massive tailgate right there. We talked at it, man. There were so many people there. You couldn't stay on a timeline because you were getting stopped every few minutes just to kind of see somebody you knew and thank them for coming and that kind of stuff. But usually it seems like, particularly in our home games, I'll typically kind of start on the field, right? So kind of my first view of the crowd essentially is when I'm walking on the field. I can kind of see everything. And we went in different for the bowl game, ended up going to basically like the fifth level or whatever the suite level was there. And so didn't really see the stands until I walked into a suite and then walked out. And man, it was the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. Like you guys saw it, right? It was just a massive maroon and gold Bobcat fans. And, it was just, it was unbelievable to see. And, one of the most exciting moments I've had since I've been here, just seeing the support of the Bobcats that were there.
You never forget your first.
No, you're right. You don't. And, hopefully, we'll show as well in the future, but that was a special moment.
Well, Jacob was talking about like the travel plans and stuff. And if Texas State, hopefully, I think we all are on the same page here, becomes a perennial bowl team, that is going to be the vacation for people. Like, it's like, okay, hey, where's Texas State going to the bowl? This is where we're going on our winter vacation. Lock in, kids. We're going to Columbus, Ohio this year. That's kind of what the plan is.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be, right? And it should be that way for other sports too, man. Gosh, I'm hoping, we talk about this, right? Football brings a level of interest, and you want to see, some of that come over to other sports, right? Some of that interest. You want some of that trickle out of the program before you know it. You got more people coming to your women's basketball games. You got more people going to, your tennis matches, whatever it happens to be. You're building that fan base, and then you introduce them to something else that we're doing, and everybody benefits from it. And,
yeah,
you make plans for everything, not just the bowl game. You make plans to go to Pensacola for the basketball tournament. You make plans to go to Montgomery for the baseball tournament. Those kind of things.
I'll go to Montgomery. I'm never going to Pensacola.
What's wrong? I don't know. I love both cities. Don't get me wrong. Pensacola. I love both cities, but I've never heard anybody say I'd rather go to Montgomery than Pensacola.
I've been fighting against Pensacola being where the basketball tournament is held since it became the helm of the basketball tournament. To go back to Louisiana, go back to New Orleans. That's what we want.
You don't like beautiful beaches, is what you're telling me.
I like New Orleans more.
New Orleans is a great city. I won't argue all the virtues of New Orleans, but Pensacola, I will tell you, the city of Pensacola really gets behind that basketball tournament. The crowds are great. There's tons of stuff to do. It's a lot of fun to spend several days in Pensacola with Bobcat basketball. That's all I'll say about that, Andrew.
Okay.
I think it's just a special city for Andrew, and he thinks about his relationship with you. He had that moment where you gave
that's true.
Food and drink tickets to some of our buddies.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I
guess. Hey, look, we'll do the same thing in Pensacola. You show up, man. I'll have tickets in my jacket. I'll hand them out. I'll see if I can get some vouchers to the hospitality room. We'll change your Pensacola perception.
Yeah, this is like a Visit Pensacola commercial, Andrew. We might have to go this year.
You need to get you on the tourism board.
I'm a Pensacola fan and a Montgomery fan. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Sorry, that was so funny to me.
Silence, you guys.
I mean, look, I'm just saying.
I like Pensacola. I have no beef with Pensacola.
I do.
This guy does. He says it to Coach Z and to Coach Johnson all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
We need to fight for it. Fight for
good.
New Orleans, man. I think
good.
that everybody just you know what, we did it too many years in a row, and then that became, if I'll tell you, we bring home a banner from Pensacola, I'm gonna have a change of tune.
All right.
We go to Pensacola and you win a tournament. I'll feel a different way.
We'll see if we can get you some New Orleans games too, man. We'll try and get Tulane scheduled with some things.
All right, there you go.
Maybe go to the New Orleans Bowl. We'll see. We'll see what we do.
I'm talking to the right guy. The AD is the type of guy that's gonna get this done.
There you go.
The right guy. There's a lot of activity going on, Don, like construction wise, just like long-term planning and the future stuff. Is there anything in particular that you're like most excited to get off the ground either this year or in the years to come?
Yeah. The Johnny and Natalie Wiseman Football Performance Center, right? The William Trevilian weight room. We want to get this stuff done. It's running a little bit behind schedule, unfortunately. But it's going to be a beautiful facility. It's going to have great amenities for the student athletes. What we've done so far looks awesome. So I really want to show it off. I'm disappointed that it's not going to be ready for the Lamar game. You know, the concourses aren't going to be open. The party patio isn't going to be open. But it will be before the end of the season. I don't have a specific timeline, unfortunately, because it's changed a little bit. But yeah, that's what I'm most excited about is showing that space off to our fans because I think they're going to love it. You know, the third level is the third level is a real wow factor place. The patio is going to be great. The amenities for the student athletes, the weight room is massive. We've expanded our locker room. You know, we got a new athletic training room, hydrotherapy, all the stuff that we've talked about. But it's all turning out really well right now, and so I'm excited for it to be completed, so we can let everybody see it.
It was the first thing I took pictures of when I was out at practice and I saw you on Saturday. Like players are on the field and I get like a certain amount of time to take pictures. The first thing I took a picture was the actual construction going on.
Yeah,
Because it's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be really neat. I mean, when it's done, I think people are really gonna like it. And again, I'm happy that we were able to mix in, a lot of elements for our student athletes, which was the most important piece, probably, right? Because we're really behind on those elements for those football players. But we were able to put in just some really unique stuff for the fans, which I think they're gonna love. Just the concourses alone. It's one of the best views in the stadium, standing up on that concourse. I've been doing it, during some of the practices, and we're giving people tours and things like that. Just the concourse is going to be a great place to watch a game from.
And this is something that like everybody always asks us. And this is like on, I want to say like every coach in Texas's wish list or in the Southwest, really. Like, is there plans for like an indoor facility or a covered facility in the works? Or...
Yeah, we do. We do have plans. We've got renderings. We've got thoughts of what this will look like and where it will be. With all the changes that are going on with the NCAA right now, we're going to have to make some decisions at some point. Do we want to move forward with some of these capital projects, or do we maybe want to invest it a little bit differently? But it's definitely something that we want to do. Have we currently started fundraising for that? Because that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be privately raised, right? So we've had some soft conversations with some people, but there is a plan to eventually have a covered indoor facility, in that it's in the east side parking lot is where it's been laid out right now.
Well, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but here's an idea. So we get some of those bigger donors and we have them walk around today when the heat index is like 117 degrees. And we say, hey, wouldn't it be nice to be indoors? I'm just a soft pitch, just an idea.
It's a good plan. It's a good plan. Air conditioning is important.
Yeah. Good job, Andrew.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just giving.
I liked it.
Just spitballing some ideas.
I don't know if Jacob liked it. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know if he liked it. I think it's a good plan.
I'm just glad that Andrew is not on the capital like gifts team or whatever, the major gifts planning team for the university has. I don't know. I feel like there'd be some tough sells for Andrew.
That's good stuff.
I'm gonna take this major donor out to the middle of nowhere in Arizona and be like, don't you wish you were in Arizona?
We're gonna make him sweat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Chestnut checkers. I'm sorry, guys. It's a great idea.
Yeah. But you mentioned like the fluidity of the NCAA situation. That must like throw a wrench in everybody's plans too. What's like top of mind for you, I guess?
Yeah, it is. We talk about it a lot. Some of the changes with the potential rev share and your essentially your opportunity to increase scholarships, your roster limits, right? NIL, right? All those things, they all affect how you're going to operate. They're all things that we're going to strive to try to do. But it requires a lot of support, right? It's going to require additional revenue. So yeah, it's driving a lot of our conversations right now. We're going to have to be patient in the space because a lot of stuff hasn't been hashed out and completely figured out. But yeah, everybody in the country is watching it, planning for it, and are going to do their best to operate, however they can in kind of this new rev share type environment.
That's going to be huge. That's going to be like, that honestly might be like sneakily the biggest thing coming up in the next couple of years is rev share.
Yeah,
the second
absolutely.
thing, I was pitching this the other day. So, okay, if there is now if it comes through and, universities can legally pay players, doesn't there need to be like some sort of salary cap idea? And would that be under your purview, or would we have to have another like salary cap AD that can kind of like look at all the money stuff? How did that work? How would that work?
Well, again, a lot of this stuff just hasn't been hashed out. So,
Yeah.
what it looks like, we're not entirely sure at this point, right?
Really? Okay.
Could there be some caps potentially on some things? I guess so. There is going to be, it looks like a revenue cap of 22 million or so that you'll be able to put towards the rev share. But man, there's a lot more questions probably than answers right now. And as this settlement plays out and as it progresses and as it's finalized, we'll all get a little bit better idea of how we're going to move forward in this area.
So what does that Zoom call look like? Is it you and like the rest of the Sunbelt ADs that are like getting this information, or like how does that communication work? Or is it like an NCAA vet?
No, it's both, but our league does a great job of helping us maneuver changes in the NCAA and keeping athletics directors informed, keeping the presidents informed. Yeah, Keith Gill with the Sunbelt does a tremendous job, in my opinion, of keeping us aware of changes and helping us navigate those changes.
A lot of people get to play like make believe AD now, like with the NCAA college football game. So they're realigning conferences. I keep it true in the Sun Belt when I play online.
That's hilarious.
Because I think there's a lot of like really like-minded institutions. That's what I appreciate about the Sun Belt regional aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah. It's a great league, right?
Great league,
across the board.
They said at Media Day this year that it's the year of the Sun Belt, that this is the year that our brand of football can really show out. So I'm really excited to actually watch across the league. I don't really watch a lot of the East, so that's my homework basically this season, is to learn the East and not just the West like I normally do.
Well, you're going to see some really good football. There's no doubt about it. Across the board, man, the league is so strong from top to bottom, right? And that's kind of what you hear when people talk about the Sun Belt. When we talk about it, there's no gimmies. Every game is tough. It's a buzzsaw, but it's a buzzsaw too when you're a non-conference team coming in to play some of these teams, right? You better be ready to go. You better strap up, man, because you go to some of these places. Some of these teams come in here and play these Sun Belt teams outside of the league, and it's a tough win for people. The league is really good.
Don't give Arizona State too much bulletin board material here. Let's
I'm not
tamper it.
No, this is about this is just about the membership, as one, right? And I think it's proven that, right? It's been, in my opinion, the best G5 conference in the country, and a lot of that has to do with what a lot of these teams have been able to accomplish with their non-conference football schedule. Yeah.
I feel like I know your answer to this question, but most electric home game this year, it's got to be week 2, right?
Man, we want them all to be, right? But UTSA does bring a different element, right? I know how excited our fans get about that matchup, and I think their fans are the same way. I think it's a great rivalry. It makes a lot of sense for both institutions to play as much as we can in all of our sports, right? We're so close to each other. So yeah, I've been a part of most of these games, actually all these games, I guess, as long as I've been here. In the atmosphere at all of them have been electric. And so, yeah, I don't see that changing. I think we're going to have a sold out Bobcat Stadium. I think our fans are really excited about it. Our players will be up for it. We're up for it. And it's going to be a great football atmosphere in San Marcos.
Zim, you got anything else? You all right?
No, I'm excited. Go 1-0 every week. That's the plan.
That's it, man. One game at a time. You don't want to get too far ahead, but we do have some great opportunities on our schedule.
I got to kill some time with you off the top, waiting around a little bit for Zim, and it was only because you're, I think, the most transparent, most communicative AD in the country, Don. So we appreciate your transparency and just like letting us into your world a little bit. The last time you were on here, I'm not saying it was all because of us, but over the course of the season, we did see some major donations. So maybe this time happen.
That'd be good, man. We use all the help we can get, right?
Yeah. So
keep them coming.
Looking forward to it. We appreciate your time.
All right, we appreciate you guys covering us, and I'll see you. Jacob said maybe a practice here coming up in the next few days or so. But look forward to seeing you guys hopefully at the Lamar game on the 31st. And if I know you guys are close. We got soccer versus UTSA tomorrow night. We got Lamar in an exhibition here for volleyball on Saturday. So lots of reasons to come back to campus.
Like we never left.
There it is. I love it. All right, guys. Appreciate the time, man.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Don.
All right.
I literally cannot wait till kickoff. Anytime we talk to somebody It's been great. We've been on a really good 3-week stretch though with guests. We got
Oh,
another
I know.
guest
This is the
next
hardest.
week.
This is the hardest Jacobs has worked as a booker all year.
Dead ass. No, I've literally booked a month of shows in advance. I don't know if that was a good decision or a bad, but I booked this one first, actually. And then I booked 2, and then I booked 1 at the bottom. So that's how I
All
did
it
this.
took was Charles Austin ducking us for like a month for this to, get a whole month of good interviews.
And then I was like, I'm going to get in my bag. Let's go.
So okay. Don said a lot. I don't have a ton to expand on when it comes to stuff he said. I think it's interesting. The indoor practice facility has been soft launched in a couple of meetings. I think it's important that like Texas State football is first and foremost. It was cool being a basketball school. It was cool being a track school and a softball school.
Volleyball.
I always, in my heart of heart, wanted us to be a football school. So for Texas State to get that recognition is giant for me. I'm very happy about that.
It's crazy to think like how much goes into like nurturing that relationship now, because you talk about 5 years ago, completely different. Like the power schools in football, like you had a different relationship with everything. Even like just getting like teams off the ground, like like what team has
I'm gonna let you in on something here, Jake.
come off the stratosphere, really.
If Texas State has a good, let's say, decade, let's say in the next, so bowl win last year, let's say in the next 9 years, they win 6 bowl games. Okay. So you go seven wins in 10 years in bowl games. The way college football looks right now, Texas State will never be Texas or A&M, but damn, bro, they could be Tech. You know what I mean? Like a Texas State team that goes to the college football playoffs maybe twice in the next 10 years.
Beat TCU.
That's not bad. A little TCU action. I'm just saying.
SMU.
The foundation is there if we can nurture it. You know what I mean? Like that's the big thing. And look,
and it's about nurturing talent at the right time. And there's so much stuff you can't control now, right? You can't control what players come or go. I guess you can if you have enough money. But that's like something that like a lot of people are finding out like, hey, actually, we don't have a lot of money.
I don't think that GJ is going to be a Gary Patterson type of coach where he's just at one school for like 40 years. But he could be a guy that's there for like maybe 5 or 6, and that would really help, especially if he continues to recruit well. So I don't think vibes have ever been better going into a sports season. The vibes are immaculate right now going into football.
If you remember from this recent trip on the coaching carousel around the country, one of the major tick marks against GJ Kinney was that he had never stayed anywhere for longer than a year. And this is his second year at a school ever, basically. So
as a head coach,
but yeah, and most of his stops, he was there for like 1 year.
He's a millennial, dude. He's a job hopper.
1 year. Yeah. So I don't know. They say in life, like this generation, and not that we're in the same generation as GJ, but he's only I guess he's like a decade above us, but still, they say that this generation, our generation, will have multiple jobs. I guess this is my second job, if you think about it, running a newsletter and a podcast.
I guess his second job would be being like a politician, like signs, kisses babies, shakes hands. Before we wrap the podcast up, because I know that we're getting there. Carter Yates, Dave Campbell football.
Carter Yates, honorary Mexican. Carter Yates,
honorary for sure. Also, huge fan of Texas State going into this year. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because we've kind of infiltrated that office, Jake. It was just Ish, then it was us and Ish, but us like peripherally, and then now it's Carter and Ish. So it's like we're starting to grow the cartel a little bit.
Well, who was sitting next to us at the bowl game? Was him?
Carter Yates. Yeah,
right. Carter Yates. Yeah. Who texts us from time to time when he's writing about Texas State?
Yeah, when he needs some help.
One Carter Yates.
Carter Yates, yeah. I'm happy that he's picking Texas State, or that he's giving Texas State the love, because for a long time there wasn't any regional or national media that even knew where Texas State was. For a long time, people were calling it Southwest Texas State. So I'm pretty pumped that we have a trooper in the Dave Campbell's office.
He called Jordan McLeod the Van Wilder of college football because he was there for
a while.
Yeah.
So. Look,
a little dated reference, but I appreciate it. Actually,
that's fine. I like it. It's not like he's Cam Rising or Alan Bowman.
He's big on Texas State, and he's really big on North Texas right now. Who is it? Chandler Morris? He thinks Chandler Morris is going to be invincible, basically.
Yeah, good luck.
So I don't know about that take, but I do think Texas State will be very good.
In his career, he's never been played like all the games. So this is
I'm
good.
nervous about one thing, Zimmel, and it's that now I feel like there's so much pressure on this year to be like the year that we get everything done. Like I feel like people are like, we have to make the CFP now because
do we have to? Have we made ourselves an official? Last year we were officially the 6-6 podcast, ended up 8-5. Shout out.
Ooh, well, actually. Do you want to do this next week with our special guest?
Let's do it next week.
We'll do our season preview.
Okay.
I think we did like a way too deep or way too early one. But this actually we'll actually talk about some other shit. With also a college football expert. No, so
okay, gonna be good.
Yeah, and not just us, because we're college football experts too.
But we added another one.
Hey, who was covering this team when nobody wanted to?
I want to know where
a lot of people held guns to my head actually to cover this team.
Where's a Lamar podcast? Where's a UTSA podcast? Where are those guys coming to talk to us?
We got UTSA booked.
Oh, do we?
Audible I played that dude in Madden or not Madden, CFB the other day. So yeah.
And what did he say?
Beat UTSA with Marshall, my dog shit Marshall team. Just saying.
Good. I will. Okay. We got played last year, so this year I'm coming. I'm good to go.
I was so pissed last year. If you don't know the story behind this, we recorded a podcast with Alamo Audible, our counterparts, our UTSA counterparts on the Dave Campbell's Republic of Texas Football Podcast Network.
That's a long name.
Long name. But they did two versions of the same podcast with us. They did one where it was our show, and then back to back, we did one with Dept, which was so dumb. You can tell why I'm single now because this just consumed my life. So now,
but the episode we gave them was so
chill. Yeah, and they didn't fight back at all. And then as soon as they flipped the script that it's their episode, they started trashing Texas State. Gave us all these takes they didn't give us earlier. I was honestly dumbfounded. I was like, wait, what's going on?
It was
I want this recording now.
It was like a heavyweight fight when you get rope-a-doped. That's what it felt like. It felt like we got rope-a-doped. We got rope a podcast. So this year
we took a punch on the chin. It didn't knock us, but boy did it stun us.
Yeah.
And
here's the thing. And we've done some other pods now. We've been invited to go do some other, and we've been training. We're Rocky in the fucking forest right now, bud. We're good to go. We're coming.
Who's the only off-season pod that does anything around here? Right here.
Us. Who's the only podcast that continues to get invited to other people's podcasts and shows up every time? Us. So we're ready to go. I'm Audible. I want you.
I want you. Yeah. No, I'm seriously fired up. If you can't tell, I was shadowboxing right now for our listeners. I'm fired up for this season. I can't wait. I'm sober. I got a lot of things going on in my life.
Not a girlfriend, so we're here.
Not a girlfriend, so we're here. I'm so stoked. Hopefully I'll be at practice this week. They have a big scrimmage. It's their like last game time thing. This is how it works for media members. You get there, you're able to film for 20 minutes, and then they kick me out of the stadium. I was like, the house that Jacob built, you're going to kick me out?
That was a race thing. Yeah. I didn't have that problem.
Yeah, I know you did.
They let the white guy just hang around.
Yeah. I need one of those like generic press passes that I can just pretend I'm a booster with, you know?
You got to go make friends with the money, bud.
Nah, I had my camera in my hand.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Told on myself. And then
you got to go get with one of the players. Get an NIL deal with one of the players that you're the professional photographer for that guy.
Well, now you can like pay a player directly, like with their whole like little platform that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could buy a player and just get access like that.
Do you want to buy the kicker? And then we get
sponsored by Squarin around.
We get a little NIL deal with the kicker, and then every week we bring the kicker on to talk about the kicks from the week before.
That would be kind of fun.
Hey, you shanked a game winner. What's happening?
I'm seriously gonna look into this. I'll follow up next week.
Thanks for scoring, everyone.
We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.